Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8 says, "For it is by God's grace that you have been saved through faith. It is not the result of your own efforts, but God's gift, so that no one can boast about it." See, faith leads to salvation. Faith is what unlocks the door to heaven. Faith is what helps us to have salvation and forgiveness. Salvation isn't based on our performance, it's based on God's promise. It's not based on my goodness, it's based on God's grace. It's not based on my merit, it's based on God's mercy. And that's why none of us can boast. Because I don't do anything. God's done it all for me. Now I want to illustrate that for you this morning. And I'm going to do that by using these albums. And I want you to think about these albums as ways that people try to get to heaven. Because the vast majority of the people that are around today, if you talk to them, they say, oh, there's many, many different ways to get to heaven. You know, lots of different ways. So let's pretend that maybe that's so, okay? I know it's not, but let's just pretend. So I'm going to use this album to show you how that sometimes people will use their good works, their good deeds, to try to get them into heaven. So what are some of those good works and some of those good deeds? What would this represent? How do some people try to get to heaven on their own? Charity, okay, by helping others, okay, by being good people, let's say. What's another way? Work, okay. So we're going to try to build a stairway to heaven here, all right? So what's another way? Honesty. Think, okay, well, if I just be an honest person, you know, truthful, then maybe that'll get me into heaven, all right? So we're building a stairway to heaven. Going to church every Sunday. You know, nothing wrong with going to church, but will it get you to heaven? But that's the way people think sometimes, all right? So I have to go to church to get to heaven. What's another way? Hey, I'll get baptized. You know, if I get baptized, get dunked under the water, then maybe I can go ahead and get into heaven that way. So, you know, we'll just add another step there, you know, so we'll get to heaven that way. How about another way? Being righteous. I just live a good, morally upright life, try to be the best person I know how. You know, I got to tell you, that's exactly where I was going. That's what I was trying to do. I mean, I was probably the nicest boy in town, you know, but I thought I was going to get to heaven because of my goodness, you know, until I found out there was no goodness in me whatsoever. You know, that was a surprise. My mom told me that one. Good for nothing. What's that mean? What's another way? What is another way people try to get to heaven? Worship, come to church. We already talked about that. What else? Following the law, the 10 Commandments, okay? Yeah, try to do what the Bible says all the time, you know, that kind of a thing. What's another way? Be perfect. Try to be perfect. What else? Oh, yeah, that's a good way. You know, just bring lots of money to church and fill that offering basket every Sunday, you know, and so let's keep building this stairway to heaven. What's another way? Helping others. Giving up sex. Okay. All right. Sure. Yeah, I guess that's one of the ways maybe. I don't know. Never tried that one. Sorry. GMI. Okay. What's another way? Huh? No swearing. You know, clean up your mouth, you know, don't curse, that kind of a thing. Don't tell any dirty jokes, you know, that kind of stuff. So we've got this stairway to heaven now. How many of you would be willing to take the steps to get to heaven? Would you be willing to put your weight on that? Would you be willing to depend on that? Would you be willing to? See, that's what happens. This is what happens. Listen to me. People think that in order to get to heaven, all I have to do is just all these things, and I can get there on my own, and then it collapses. And guess what the Bible says? The Bible says none of those things will get you to heaven. You know what gets you to heaven? We just read the verse. What does it say in Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8? It's by God's grace through faith in Jesus Christ.